There's a negotiation technique so powerful that FBI trainers quietly stop teaching it in public seminars. Not because it doesn't work, but because it works too well. I'm going to show you exactly what it is and how it exploits a vulnerability in human psychology that most people don't even know exists. This isn't about manipulation in the traditional sense. It's about understanding a fundamental glitch in how our brains process agreement and disagreement. And once you see it, you'll notice it everywhere, being used on you constantly by salespeople, politicians, and anyone who stumbled onto this psychological loophole. The ethical question isn't whether it works. It's whether you're comfortable wielding something this effective. Here's what makes this so controversial. Most persuasion techniques require you to build rapport first, to establish trust, to create value. This one bypasses all of that. It works on strangers. It works when people are actively resisting you. It works even when people know what you're doing. That's what made the FBI uncomfortable about teaching it openly. Strategy 1. The forced choice architecture. The core mechanism is called forced choice architecture, but that academic term hides how devastatingly simple it is. Your brain is hardwired to choose between options presented to you rather than to question whether you should be choosing at all. It's an evolutionary shortcut. When our ancestors saw two paths through the forest, their survival depended on quickly picking one, not standing there philosophizing about whether they should walk at all. Here's how it works in practice. Never ask someone if they want to do something. Instead, ask them which version they prefer. Not do you want to schedule a meeting, but would Tuesday or Thursday work better for you? Not are you interested in this product, but do you see yourself using this at home or at the office? Notice what just happened. You embedded the assumption of agreement inside the question itself. Their brain starts processing which option is better before it ever asks whether they want either option. It's like asking someone, would you prefer the red poison or the blue poison, and watching them actually pick one instead of refusing both. Sales professionals who discover this accidentally often report feeling guilty. One car salesman told me he'd ask customers, will you be financing this or paying cash today, and watched conversion rates double overnight. He said it felt like cheating. Because in a sense, it is. You're exploiting the fact that human cognition prefers selection over rejection. But here's where it gets ethically complex. This technique only works sustainably if the underlying offer actually benefits the person. You can use forced choice architecture to get someone into a meeting, but if that meeting wastes their time, you've just burned credibility forever. The technique gets you past resistance. It doesn't make bad offers good. Strategy 2. The assumptive close sequence. Now let's layer something even more powerful on top. It's called the assumptive close sequence, and it works because of something called cognitive consistency bias. Once your brain starts moving in a direction, it resists changing course. It's why you keep watching a bad movie. Once you're 30 minutes in, your brain has already committed resources to one narrative. Here's the pattern. You start with the smallest possible assumption, get micro-agreement, then build larger assumptions on top of it. Each agreement makes the next one harder to refuse, because disagreeing would create cognitive dissonance with their previous micro-commitment. Let me show you this in action. Imagine you're trying to get someone to try a new project management system at work. The wrong approach is asking, do you think we should change our project management system? That invites immediate resistance and excuse-making. Instead, you start with, you've noticed our current system has some frustrations, right? That's undeniable. Everyone has frustrations. They agree. Then you say, and if there was a way to reduce those frustrations without adding more complexity, that would be worth exploring, wouldn't it? Another micro-agreement. Then, let me show you something for just 2 minutes, and you can tell me if you see potential or not. Notice the sequence. Each agreement is tiny. Each one feels reasonable. But together, they create a momentum where refusing the final request would mean contradicting everything they just agreed to. Their brain doesn't want that internal contradiction, so it moves forward. This is where the ethical alarm bell should be ringing loudly in your head, because this works even when the thing you're proposing is genuinely bad for someone. The technique doesn't care about outcomes. It only cares about triggering the consistency mechanism. That's why the FBI got uncomfortable. In hostage negotiations, getting compliance is literally life or death. But in everyday life, this level of persuasive power requires serious ethical guardrails. Strategy 3. The label and lead method. The third component is something FBI negotiators call tactical empathy, but the version that got removed from public training adds a specific twist. It's about labeling someone's resistance before they can fully form it, then immediately leading them past it. Your brain has a fascinating quirk. When someone accurately names what you're feeling before you say it, you experience a neurological de-escalation. The amygdala, your threat detection system, actually calms down. It's been measured in brain scans. Naming the emotion reduces its power. Here's how this becomes a persuasion weapon. You identify the likely resistance or fear someone has. You label it out loud for them, and then you immediately provide the resolution in the same breath. You're probably thinking, this sounds too complicated to be worth the hassle, and that's exactly why we made the setup take less than 5 minutes. See what happened? You voiced their objection better than they could have. This creates a weird sense that you understand them deeply. Then you dissolve the objection before they could attach to it emotionally. Their brain was preparing to defend a position, but you eliminated the need for defense. A real estate agent I know uses this devastatingly well. When showing expensive properties, she says you're looking at this price and wondering if it's justified, which is smart. So let me show you exactly what you're getting that the cheaper listings don't have. She labels the price concern before they voice it, validates it, then redirects attention. Her close rate is almost disturbing. But here's the critical insight that makes this ethically navigable. This technique works best when you're genuinely addressing real concerns with real solutions. If you label an objection and then don't actually resolve it, you've just highlighted the problem. The method forces you to truly understand and solve for the other person's perspective. Used properly, it's not manipulation. It's radical empathy combined with clarity. Strategy 4, the consequence reversal frame. The final piece is what makes everything else work at the subconscious level. It's called consequence reversal, and it exploits loss aversion. Your brain weighs potential losses about twice as heavily as potential gains. Losing $20 hurts more than finding $20 feels good. Most people frame their proposals around gains. If you do this, you'll get these benefits. But consequence reversal flips it. You help someone see what they're losing by not acting. Not in a threatening way, but by making the hidden cost of inaction visible. Instead of this software will save you 2 hours a week, you say right now, you're losing 2 hours every week to manual work that could be automated. That's over 100 hours a year you're not getting back. Same information, but one frames it as a loss currently happening. This works because your brain treats ongoing losses differently than unrealized gains. Gains are abstract and future. Losses are concrete and present. When someone realizes they're already losing something right now, their motivation to stop the loss becomes urgent. The ethical line here is truth. If you're inventing fake losses or exaggerating consequences to create artificial urgency, you've crossed into manipulation. But if you're genuinely helping someone see a real cost they've been blind to, you're providing value through perspective. The reality check. Here's what you need to understand. These techniques work whether your intentions are good or predatory. That's exactly why they're controversial. A method that's equally effective for helping someone and exploiting someone is a dangerous tool to spread widely. The FBI's concern wasn't that these methods exist. It's that teaching them publicly means teaching them to people who won't use them responsibly. But here's my take. These techniques are already being used on you daily. Understanding them is your defense. And if you choose to use them yourself, you're now making a conscious ethical choice rather than accidentally stumbling into manipulation. The principle is simple. Use these methods to help people overcome resistance to things that genuinely serve them. The moment you're using them to serve yourself at someone else's expense, you've become exactly what makes these techniques dangerous. Now you know what works and why. What you do with that knowledge defines who you are.